Welcome back, everyone, to the deep dive. This time, we're going way beyond just learning new words.
Going deep, huh?
Totally. Like, we're diving into the core of how language shapes our thoughts, our feelings.
Like exploring a whole new world, not just some touristy phrase book.
Exactly. And get this, you sent over some amazing stuff about self-discovery, finding your purpose.
Ooh, sounds right up my alley.
I know, right? So we're going to pull out those nuggets of wisdom, A&D, sprinkle in some fancy vocab along the way. Ready for an adventure?
Let's go.
All right, so we're diving deep into this conversation with someone who, super young, already achieved massive success.
Impressive.
But what blew me away was how grounded they stayed, focusing on their well-being even in that crazy, demanding world.
It's insightful, eh? Like they've totally mastered setting boundaries.
Oh, yeah.
Which is so crucial nowadays. Everything's so fast-paced, it's easy to get swept up and feel overwhelmed.
Totally agree.
And they talk about being brave enough to say no, even to amazing opportunities.
I know. It makes you think, right? Like, how often do we say yes just out of obligation or FOMO?
When deep down, we know it'll stretch us too thin.
Exactly.
And they really emphasize tuning into your own internal compass instead of chasing validation from outside.
Love that.
They learned true happiness comes from within, not from achievements or what others think.
That's powerful stuff. It connects to intrinsic motivation, right? Finding joy in the process itself, not just some external reward.
Absolutely. It's like learning a language because you love it, not just cramming for a test,
Total.
And get this, they've got this unique technique for boosting self-love. Uses a specific photo and a powerful affirmation like they're talking to their inner child.
Whoa, that's fascinating. So they've built this visual reminder right into their routine.
Yep.
Such a cool example of how we can shift our mindset with simple tools, build that positive self-image.
For sure. And speaking of inner child stuff, they tell this beautiful story about their lifelong love for horses.
Oh, I love that.
They describe this intense connection they have with these animals, especially their horse, Dylan.
You can see their face just light up when talking about it.
No, totally.
Clearly, that passion brings them pure joy, like that unadulterated happiness we often feel as kids.
What's interesting is how they tie that back to finding activities that help us reconnect with our true selves.
Yes.
Rediscovering those things that make us feel truly alive,
Yeah.
The things that spark that childlike wonder.
It's like learning a new language, that feeling of a whole new world opening up, full of adventure and discovery.
Precisely. And this deep dive also gets into nurturing meaningful relationships. They talk about handling the dynamics of a big family, and really prioritizing genuine connections.
It made me realize how intentional we got to be about the relationships we nurture. It's not about quantity, but quality.
You got it. And they're big on open communication, honesty in those relationships, even when it's tough.
Yeah, being real, even when it's hard.
Right. They learn that bottling things up just leads to bigger problems later on.
It's like learning to express yourself clearly in a new language. It can be messy, you make mistakes at first,
Oh, for sure.
but with practice, you get more confident, more fluent in communicating your thoughts and feelings.
Totally. It's about finding your voice, like literally A-N-D, metaphorically. And this person, they're not afraid to set boundaries, even in those close relationships. Like, they'll step away from a family dinner if they need to.
It's so cool to hear that, prioritizing their own needs, even with family. It's like a reminder that self-care isn't selfish.
Right. It's how we can actually be our best for others.
Totally.
And they've learned saying no can be self-preservation, especially when things get overwhelming.
Yeah.
They even mentioned this simple trick. Step away to the bathroom for a few deep breaths when it's all too much, like at a party or something.
Oh, I love that. So practical. Anyone can do it.
Right, like finding a quiet corner in a crazy city just to pause and recharge.
Exactly.
Oh, and speaking of recharging, get this. This person talks to themselves in the mirror.
Wait, seriously? That's so interesting. What do they, talk about?
So they have this photo of themselves as a kid on the bathroom mirror.
Okay.
It's like a visual reminder of their inner child, that pure joy. And they talk to that younger self with encouragement, affirmations.
Wow, that's powerful. Using language to reprogram those negative thoughts we all have sometimes.
Yeah, choosing to be kind to ourselves.
Love it.
And it connects back to the horse thing, right? Being around those animals brings back that pure joy, that childlike wonder. They said they feel like their 12-year-old self again with their horses.
It's beautiful how they found that outlet, that connection to their true selves. It reminds me, those passions from childhood, they often hold the key to joy even as adults.
It's like rediscovering a childhood book, but in the language you're learning. Familiar but exciting, connecting to something deep inside.
Exactly.
They also emphasized honesty and open communication, especially with family and close friends.
So important for trust, for real connection.
Right, they're all about expressing their feelings authentically, being upfront about their needs, even when it's hard.
It's like having the courage to be vulnerable, speak your truth even if your voice shakes a bit. Like learning to express yourself in a new language. Takes practice, courage, but the rewards are huge.
Absolutely. And they get that even in the closest relationships, it's okay to take space sometimes. Remember the bathroom break thing when it gets overwhelming, even at dinner with family?
Yes, it's a reminder we can prioritize our well-being, even with loved ones. Sometimes you got to step back to recharge to actually be your best for them.
Exactly. And it's about those boundaries with compassion, not shutting people out, but taking care of yourself so you can be more present.
The conversation got kind of reflective when they talked about losing a friend. Made me think about how important it is to tell people we care while we can.
Yeah, a poignant reminder that life is precious, unpredictable, and grief can make us appreciate the now, cherish connections. Our words, our actions, they impact others deeply.
It made me think about legacy too. Not just stuff or achievements, but our impact on people. The kindness we spread, the love, the positive energy.
Beautifully said. And this person, they're really finding your purpose, Talked about wanting to use their platform to spread love, positivity, especially in a world that can feel so negative.
So inspiring. It's like they're learning a new language.
Mm.
Compassion, kindness, connection. Using it to make the world a better place.
They're definitely walking the walk. They even said they post silly videos daily just to make people smile.
Love that. Little acts of kindness, brightening someone's day, creating that ripple effect.
It's a reminder we all have that power, no matter how small, to be a source of light and joy.
They also mentioned getting into meditation, mindfulness, how reading about someone else's experience inspired them to try it. It's like learning a language opens up a whole new way of thinking.
Expanding our awareness, understanding ourselves and the world better, takes time and practice, but the rewards are huge.
And they're working on managing anxiety, stress. By setting boundaries, not overthinking things, they're clearly dedicated to their own growth.
It's inspiring. They face those challenges head on, and it reminds us personal growth is a journey, ups and downs included.
They seem to embrace it, find ways to navigate it gracefully, resiliently.
Totally. And in a way that's so authentic, relatable, not pretending to have it all figured out, but open about struggles, about growing.
Refreshing to see that honesty. Makes their story even more inspiring.
Reminds us we're all in this together. We all face stuff, but we can learn from each other, support each other.
It's about knowing we're not alone, finding strength in being real.
Exactly. And embracing imperfections, challenges as chances to grow, to learn.
They talked about their tequila brand, loving the entrepreneurial side of it. Sounds like it lets them be creative, explore different parts of themselves.
It's cool to see them branching out, pursuing passions, like a reminder we don't have to limit ourselves to one path, one definition of success.
It's like being multilingual, navigating different worlds, connecting with all kinds of people. Opens up so many possibilities.
Exactly. And they also talked about validation, how it used to matter more to them.
Big shift. It's like they're more confident now, less reliant on what others think.
It's about realizing true validation comes from inside, not outside. Cultivating self-acceptance, self-love.
Realizing you are enough, just as you are.
Exactly. Focusing on your own values, not trying to please everyone.
Sounds like they've really learned to prioritize their happiness, their well-being.
Absolutely. And we can all aim for that, knowing we deserve to be happy, that it's okay to put ourselves first sometimes.
Living a life that aligns with our values brings joy, fulfillment.
Exactly. It's a unique journey for each person. No one-size-fits-all for happiness or purpose.
But we can learn from each other, find inspiration along the way.
Absolutely. It's about being open to trying new things, finding what really speaks to our hearts.
Remember that fun question they answered? About creating a law everyone had to follow.
Oh, yeah. What a great question. It tells you so much about a person. So what was their law?
Everyone has to disconnect from their phones for at least half a day on Sundays.
I love that. Shows how much they value disconnecting from tech, taking time for themselves, like pressing pause on all that information overload, just being present.
Yeah, making space for those simple joys, those meaningful connections we lose sight of sometimes in the digital world.
For sure. A reminder we don't have to be plugged in 24/7. It's okay to step back, set those boundaries.
It's about balance, right? Between the digital and the real. Prioritizing what truly nourishes us brings true happiness.
Creating a life that feels like spacious, intentional, not just rushed and overwhelmed all the time. And realizing that taking time for ourselves, that's not selfish. It's actually like crucial for our well-being, for being our best selves out in the world.
It's like really immersing yourself in a new language. You got to give it space to sink in.
Yeah,
If you cram too much too fast, you just end up frustrated. But give yourself time to breathe, to savor it, make those connections. That's where the magic is.
Absolutely. It's finding that rhythm, that balance between effort and ease. Pushing yourself, but also letting yourself just be. And this person, they seem to have found that sweet spot. Driven, ambitious, but they prioritize well-being, make time for joy.
It's inspiring, right? Like they've figured out how to be successful, AD fulfilled. And it's not about having all the answers or being perfect.
Not at all.
It's about the journey, that constant self-discovery, growth, evolution.
And being kind to ourselves along the way. We're all works in progress, right? Perfectly imperfect, each in our own way.
Totally.
Strengths, weaknesses, good times, tough times is what makes us human, makes our stories relatable, inspiring.
So, to our listener, here's a thought to take with you. What's one small step you can take today to connect with your higher self?
Ooh, I like that.
Could be something simple.
Yeah.
A few deep breaths, time in nature, reconnecting with a passion that makes you light up.
Yeah, those little things.
Remember, even small actions can create a ripple effect of positivity in your life and the world around you.
And like learning a new language, self-discovery never really ends. Always something new to learn, a new perspective, a new layer to uncover.
Keep exploring.
Embrace the adventure, be curious, and most importantly,
Be kind to yourself.
exactly.
Until next time, keep diving deeper.